In our town, we know what we need. That's why at Bianchi Honda, we sell more CRVs than any other dealership sells all their vehicles combined. We are an SUV town, choosing the #1 rated SUV brand. Lease the 2019 CRV LX all-wheel drive for only $199 per month for 36 months. With over 2 million customers served, around here, we Honda.
Time now for the Gannon Lady Knights Coaches Show. He is Jim Brunelli, and he's phoning in today. So I'll miss hanging out, Coach, in person.
Yeah, I know. We got some more time to do that, but it's just, we were just talking before we came on here. Crazy night with the wind and the power going out, and we had early morning practice this morning, and just trying to get in the office, get it all taken care of before film starts at 5:50 a.m. So just one of those things, and still got this cough and a little under the weather at times, but it's good to be talking with you, and let's get this thing going.
Yeah, no doubt. Mercyhurst on Saturday, 62-60 was the final. And, Coach, just right off the bat, how big was this victory?
It was huge. Anytime you can beat your rival, that's big time. It is. It ranks right up there. But then when you can do it on senior night, that makes it that much sweeter, I guess you could say. The kids battled. Both teams. Mercyhurst, take my hat off. Coach Richard does a great job over there. They came ready to play, and I just felt that every time they took a shot at us, we were able to throw punches right back, and I thought our composure towards the end, despite some calls here and there, things that didn't go our way, I felt our team and our ladies held their composure tremendously, and just really proud of them and proud of our seniors for grinding out a win.
The first thing you see, when you look at the traditional box score is in the first half, identical, 11 of 25 from the field. But when you break it up by quarter, how did that look on film now that you've been able to get into it?
It's just one of those things where, I thought our first quarter, again, we came out, I thought we played really well. The second quarter, we had a little issue there. That's when some turnovers came for us and just some not great decisions for us. But we held on, we held it together a little bit, and then third quarter we jumped on them a little bit, and we knew, it was just fourth quarter there towards the end. It was just throwing punches. It was like a heavyweight match. You know what I mean? They would throw a punch, we would throw a punch. Neither team could really, get a big enough lead that felt safe. And I thought down the stretch, if we hit a couple of those free throws that we missed, then it's not just a 2-point game. You can breathe a little easier. But I thought our defense was tremendous down the stretch for us, and they didn't even get a shot off. So really proud of our team. Chelsea Rourke came to play. I think it's another career high for her with 23 points, and super proud of her. Sydney Mitchell had another tremendous game, and with the go-ahead, to put us up there after missing a shot, sticking with it. That's why, coaches always talk about, hey, you got to follow your shot. You got to do those things. But we had some players keep things alive in there. Nicole had a great game with 8 points and 5 rebounds, and Lauren Tavis, another game, 6 points, 6 rebounds. Just really proud of the team. And then, you got Tori Obenrader, who is in there as well. She's a stat stuffer. She's 8 points, 8 rebounds. She'll get you some assists. Yeah, she had a couple turnovers, but she just comes ready to play, and she was big for us in that game as well.
Yeah, with Rourke, I was going to say, if it was a heavyweight bout, then that makes Chelsea Rourke, I guess, Muhammad Ali out there on Saturday, because she was something else. Do you kind of get a sense early on if she really has it that day?
It's one of those things where we see it a lot with Chelsea. She's one of those kids who is a complete player in a sense. And what I mean by that is, she can impact the game. She impacts the game on both ends of the court, offensively and defensively. You see she shot extremely well in this game. She was 8 for 11, 2 for 2 from behind the arc. And then on the defensive end, she can impact the game in that way. She was, defending Nicolette Newman, and, she kind of got off there a little bit in the first quarters, but other than that, she didn't really, she tightened it up. Nicole tightened it up a little bit, and played some really good defense on her. And, we have some of those players on this team that impact on both ends, and it's so good to have those, Sydney's another type player that can get in there and defend really well, and Tori is another player that can do it as far as her rebounding goes. Tori is just tremendous at going after the rebound, going after rebounds. I tell her team all the time, the more you go after, the better chance you have of getting some. If you only go after 3 or 4 rebounds, you may only get 1, 2. You go after 10, 12, you might get 8 or 10. Do you know what I mean? So the more chances you go after, the better opportunity you're going to get some. And she goes after them. And people like Nicola Cava, she's posting up down there. She's our big in the middle, and she's taking a beating these last couple games. They're hanging all over her. They're denying her the ball. They're sending double and triple teams at times. And for her to come away with 8 and 5 and go 4 for 4 from the free throw line, those are all critical points. And those are things that we need to do to make this run.
Yeah, Lauren Tavis. I mean, I'm really just echoing your remarks, but these are the things I had written down going in here. The effort that Lauren Tavis, if you really key in on her and what she does away from the basketball, I think she had a big offensive board there late on the kick out to Sydney Mitchell, but she just does some things that just fly under the radar.
Oh, yeah, she does a lot of things that, that the normal statisticians don't stat, but we do. We keep people that take charges. We keep loose balls, who gets on the floor and gets them. And Lauren's one of those kids who in the last, since we've been keeping this stat, she's led our team in charges taken. She's done those things, and those are things that when you look at this stat sheet, you don't see that. If you're looking at the stat sheet right now, there's nothing up there that says loose balls. There's nothing up there that says about taking charges. And those can be game-deciding stats. And those are things we track because we do a little thing. It's called the X Factor belt. We have a little WWE belt that we have that has a big X on it, and we give that out each week to a player. And tomorrow we'll give it out because it was early morning today and I completely forgot. But it's basically what you do is what we do is we add up. It's everything but scoring. So you take a look at free throws made, free throws made. Those are important things. It doesn't take up your total points, but it takes up if you get to the free throw line. So you add up free throws, you add up rebounds, you add up assists, you add up blocks and steals, and then we chart loose balls and, like I said, charges. You add all those up, and then you take away, you minus turnovers and missed free throws, because those are things that hurt your team. And so if you have a plus or you have a positive or negative effect on your game, and that's without scoring. And we've had kids like I'm going to give it away, but Sydney Mitchell will be our X Factor. Her game on Saturday was a plus 14. We had some plus 10s, some plus 11s, but hers was a plus 14 when you add everything up. So those are, like I said, those are the X Factor. Those are things that you contribute to without your total point score. You're only factoring in those free throws because those are big things. You can get to the free throw line, you can win, and as you see there, we went 16 of 22, and Mercyhurst went 5 times.
Your team has shot really well from the free throw line. Do you credit that to the kids themselves, putting the work in, or is that something that I imagine you don't have a ton of time to spend on something like free throws in the limited practice that you have?
It's funny. I give credit to both, but we always work on free throws. Every practice we probably take, if you add up our practice time, and if you ever look at one of my practice sheets, we take at least, it would be about 15 minutes of practice out of our practice time. Now, it doesn't always take up that much time because we do a drill called 8 in a row, and to me, I don't say this to the kids because they don't know who this person is, but I call it the president's drill, only because a gentleman down at my last school, he was the president of Action Enterprises down there, and he did our radio show, and he was a former high school coach, and he used to do a thing with his kids. His name's President Dan Holman, and he used to do a thing back in the 60s and 70s. He would call it 7 in a row. The kids couldn't leave until they made 7 in a row free throws. Well, I took that drill, President Holman's drill, and I changed it to 8 in a row because a lot of teams Alex, they want to shoot 70% from the free throw line. Well, I don't like 70%. I'd rather shoot 80%. And so we do eight in a row. And so there's times, 2 times during practice, where it might be after we do an up and down drill where they're tired, where everybody spreads out 2 to each basket, and we put 5 minutes on the clock, and each kid's got to make 8 in a row before the time goes off or we run. And so we really work on it, because free throws and layups will help you win games. If you can make free throws and layups and do it consistently, the little chippies, those are going to win more games. I've lost games by missing free throws. I'll tell you what, it's a horrible feeling to lose a game when you're at the line and you miss free throws, or you have a chance to tie it or send it in overtime or win it. And I don't want my teams to go through that. And so we work on it quite a bit. Almost every practice, we take at least, and then at the end we have to do our 80% free throw drill. So we line everybody up on the baseline. It's a pressure type situation. Everybody shoots 2, and when we have, lately we've had 11 players, so 22. We go 19 for 22, and that's how we finish practice.
Well, how'd you adapt that? You weren't around in the 60s and 70s.
No, I wasn't, but that's what he used to do. So you know what? For the moment, I'm going to one-up you. I'm going to have our kids make 8.
I love it.
I've been doing that, honestly, every year since I've been here, so that's 6 years. And I was down at Anderson for 5 years, and he probably told it to me after the first year. So you add that up, that's 6, that's 10 years.
Awesome
that's 10
stuff.
Years that I've been doing it.
One more on the game Saturday, the 62-60 win over Mercyhurst. What are you thinking when they go up late? I mean, as a fan, you're panicked.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we, right there with like under 30 seconds left, or it was even less than that. When Oswald made that shot down the middle, we had a little defensive breakdown there, and the nice thing is, that was like everybody in the stands are going, oh man, and the coaches felt that too. I think Sydney felt it. I think our whole team felt it. But the composure that they came to the bench with, we got them settled down. We set up our sideline out of bounds play, and we said, this is what we're going to do. We got a great look at the basket. We took the shot with the right amount of time, and then Lauren got a tip there, got a rebound, and knocked it out. It drove and put the ball in the hoop, and she was either going to get fouled or score it. So it's one of those things. It can take the wind out of your sails. It really can. To have something like that happen, and in my post game interview, I mentioned our composure, and that was a huge moment there for us when we could be composed, and our team could have took that shot to the stomach and said, "Hey, I'm not coming back out from this." You know what I mean? I can't do it. But our ladies dug down and showed a lot of grit, in those last 15 seconds there, and then on the defensive end, they showed even more grit by going up and then not even allowing them to get a shot off.
Coach, what's not to like about your group of seniors this year?
I'll tell you what, when you have some 4-year players, and we have 2 of them in Lauren and Nicole, and then Elise, who's been with us, who transferred in, who's been 3 years. They just have done a really, really nice job, and as student athletes. And that's the big thing. I wish we could have had in their second year a little bit more success. And I know that this year, there's games they think that we probably could and should have won, and we didn't. And like I told them, I said, at the end, after the game, I just want to keep extending their season because they deserve it. And after we got announced and everybody's huddling up there, and when we brought in for the last time, normally it's nights, normally it's together, it's something like that. I said seniors before we started the game, because that's who we should be playing that game for. I mean, if you're going to win it for anybody, you win it for the kids who have been here the longest, who put in a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, and we've had some roller coasters with those guys, and through the seasons that we've had, and just so proud of them.
And it was cool to see them hoist that trophy. That's a cool thing Jason Porreco does.
Oh, my gosh. I thanked him after the game, and just having us involved in that, and Jason and the Porreco family for doing that, it just makes that rivalry just that much better. I mean, it's such a neat situation, to have that trophy. It'll sit in our office. Now we get to brag on it a little bit, and then to have Chelsea get that what is it, the Game Changer Award,
Yep.
I think, and that you get to go home, and that's a nice award. That's it's something to be really, really proud of, and to have that trophy. I just think it's a neat situation, to have, because a lot of schools don't have that. You see some of the Akron, Kent State, they have the wagon wheel and some of that other stuff, but it just brings that much more to the rivalry, and I think people get hyped up for that.
All right, Coach, you got Clarion, which you know a thing or two about that campus, and then you've got Slippery Rock to end the season. So if you do blank, you end up in the dance.
Yeah, and right now we're just focused on Clarion. That's the next game ahead.
All right.
And that's the one that we're more we got to focus in on. We can't worry about Saturday's game when we got Wednesday to go. Clarion's changed their lineup, and right now I'm going to tell my team this tomorrow, but they're dream killers. They're coming in and they're ready to take care of anybody and anything. They've changed their lineup, and we have to be ready. We have to be focused. We have to go in there and play our game, and we have to take care of the ball. And we have to value every possession and not let them affect the control we have on our side.
Gannon Lady Knights head coach, he is Jim Brunelli. Good luck on Wednesday.
Hey, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you, buddy.